Tonight's discussion is on heart rhythm and in a heart space. What does that mean, heart rhythm and heart space? Heart rhythm has to do with your vibrational field, your torus field. It has to do with who you are in the electromagnetic and the etheric world. Because your heart generates heartbeats. On the EKG, it's seen as little beep, 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 beep as a sound wave. What that in turn means is that's how we're all connected. We're all connected with that heartbeat. And that heartbeat is what makes us who we are in this reality. Because of that vibrational field, our subconscious, which is our body, is able to maintain itself in constant resonance with this earth. How does it do that? It pumps blood. And the blood in your body is the same with the 64 corpuscles as is in the atmosphere. Right? So you're resonating in a certain vibrational field, and your torus field and your auric field are the outcome of that hot vibration. Right? And it's what we create as humans that makes us very unique from other creatures, because a crystal has a heart rhythm, a plant has a heart rhythm, a kitty has a heart rhythm, other animals have heart rhythms, but we do not connect to those animals or that crystal or that plant in a certain way. We connect only with humans in a certain way. We can understand what that cat or that dog is feeling or trying to communicate with us, but we cannot resonate in their frequency because of who we are and what our blood consists of. Okay? Your heart space. Heart space is where all your emotions are. Your emotions are trapped and you feel with your belly, where you should be feeling with your heart. Because of the programming of the subconscious field, which is your whole body, you do not feel things from your heart until it's too late. Or until it already passed that fleeting moment. Because most of our feelings are now comes from my gut. Oh, that gut feeling, I have that feeling on my gut. Really? It's your heart that should have that feeling. So how do you practice moving that feeling from your gut up to your heart? You store the emotion and you examine it from every angle, and you figure out what serves you and what doesn't serve you. And if it doesn't serve you, there's no need for you to feel it in your heart. You only feel emotions that serve you. And that's why I say it's important to know both sides. You can't just know of love and light. You have to know of the negative and darkness too. Because if you don't know one or the other, you cannot have that fine balance. And that fine balance is what resonates in your heart space to bring forth a feeling of euphoria. For example, we had an epiphany last night with Jamie. Jamie says, every time I have a relationship with somebody, I'm feeling as if I'm not right. I'm always trying to sabotage it, basically. Where does that come from? That comes from the childhood programming, right? And that childhood programming is a mirror of his parents. It's not something that he has, but it's the only thing he has to observe and base his adult freaking life on. But that resonance is from somebody else's heart rhythm and somebody else's heart space. It's not his heart space nor heart rhythm. And the epiphany is, if you allow the mirror of the other person to affect you and who you really are, then of course you're going to be feeling like doubtful and inadequate and no matter what, because the person you're dealing with also has that same issue, and so forth and so forth and so forth. And that's why this world, everybody has that insecurity about them, that they're not good enough. Not good enough for who? We are all one. Be honest with yourself. Have no assumptions, right? Do not give a rat's ass what anybody else thinks about you, and give it your best. These 5 freaking little rules there are very simple to follow, yet very difficult to do, because we have so much programming in our heart space that it's hard to let it go. You agree? Why are you talking to me? Right. So, by realizing the simple facts, and the simple facts are you being completely honest with yourself. Completely honest. No ifs, ands, well, what if? No. If you're a jealous person, you should say, I am jealous. I have envy within me. Feel that friggin' envy. Feel that emotion of jealousy. And say, why am I jealous? What does that serve me? How does that serve me? Right? I mean, we're all trying to be meatless. Why are we trying to be meatless? Is it something that's fashionless or what? Because we know that by eating a dead animal, we're feeling its fear of death right before it gets slaughtered. That's a horrible thing. And that's why we act out the certain way we act out, by not eating foods that are fresh with information like vegetables and fruits. So we are meant, as far as our body goes, to consume fruits and vegetables, not meat. Because that meat's energy, or that other animal's energy, is being vibrated into your own heart space and your heart rhythm. It affects it directly just by the blood that you're consuming. Seafood, does it have blood? Some of it does. Clams, do they have blood? No. Squid? No. Octopus? No. But it's still a living life form. See? And that's why I am making a concentrated effort to eat less meat, and I guess the rest of you are trying. Even Alex, Mr. Natural Guy, is trying to eat less meat. And that's important. Why are we doing that, though? Why are we making that effort not to eat meat?
Yeah, but what about meat that's, like, what about animals that are hunted? Because technically when they die, they're not fearful. Because they don't even know it's coming.
But how do we know that? Are you that animal? That animal has consciousness, and yet you hunt it down. Okay, you are capable of having the hunt, and you are capable of killing that animal. They swore. But you are capable of taking an animal down.
Yeah.
Does that give you the right to do so?
No.
And I can see that Native American Indians or the native tribes would hunt down animals and eat them and pray over them to forgive them. Yes, that is a totally different subject. But the point is, why do we do the things we do? Because we are programmed such from birth.
We don't know any better.
We don't know any better. If we lived amongst people that were cannibals, would we not be cannibals? Because from birth it would be a normal thing for us to eat our fellow men, right? Yet society says, oh, you can't do that. But it's all mindset, it's all perspective. If you were brought up to be a flower-loving, butterfly-chasing, tree-hugging little man that says, I love you, Mother Earth, every 2 seconds, your program will be as such that you go out there and you're going to do the same thing, and then you're going to be like, what the hell's wrong with everybody else in this society? Why aren't they doing the same thing I am? So it's all perspective. And that mindset of programming, that program that we have growing up, is giving us all those negative thoughts and all those negative issues that we all have to deal with on an everyday basis. But if we observe them and let them go, and the more we take into perspective that they don't serve us, then those thoughts will not come around as often. Like Billy had a song stuck in his head yesterday by Katy Perry. Taylor Swift, sorry, I don't know. But he was feeling so bad. I'm like, all right, you know what the words mean, and you know that they are negative words, so why let it affect you? Why just be frustrated with yourself to the point that you want to like puke? Just, it's okay, sing that song. Okay, you can change the words around to what you want to change them. As long as it has that rhythm, your mind's still going to do the same thing, right? So the heart rhythm in the heart space is where we feel our emotions and our vibrational pattern to expand and create our illusion of reality. Your mind has very little to do with it. Your mind is the record keeper. Your mind is where it's all stored. But to actually process the thought, your heart has to be involved and it has to pump it into reality. Your mind is there and it serves its purpose. Yes. The mind is very powerful, yet it's not the only powerful tool in your whole body. Your 7 centers are your most powerful tools in your body, and together they are one. And the heart rhythm and the heart space is usually not looked at or talked about because there's so much misinformation by the New Age movement out there that it's really hard to find any solid evidence. And scientifically, they're looking into it, quote unquote, and determining that there is something to it. But they can't explain how or why. But you can't have one without the other. You have to have both in duality in order for that to work. Okay? And the 7 principles work on that duality infinitely. So, taking the time and noticing what serves you and taking the time noticing what doesn't serve you is what creates a better heart space, and in return a higher vibrational heart rhythm, which allows the freedom you need to go forth and live doubt free, fear free. And it's all about living fear free. So would you rather live in pain, or would you rather live in happiness or love? Love. Because everybody's perspective can change if we all take the time to see what it is that we need to nurture our mind, our heart space, and our heart rhythm. Because your thoughts and emotions should be coming from the heart. Technically. Your gut, it's okay. It's part of the 7 systems, but it's not the one that's supposed to be making the feeling. That's the alarm center. That's woo woo, code red, let's go. Feel it in the heart. See what I'm saying? That should not be, oh, I feel it right here. No, dude, feel it here. Feel it here. Because bring that thought forth and bring it down. Feel it in your heart. Heart space is very important. Right now, the heart space is limited. Expand that heart space. And by expanding that heart space, you're expanding your heart rhythm. And expanding heart rhythm, you can influence without even thinking at no time. Yes. And I think that's what's most important. If we all lived on that singular perspective of no time, then we would have our heart rhythm and our heart space fully opened.
So you're saying when you don't have thought, it's your heart space?
When you don't have thought, you're living in the moment. You're living to where you're supposed to be living. What I'm saying is, if you're living without that thought all the time, your heart space expands and your heart rhythm expands. And you're able to create the realm that we live in a better, positive, in a more happy, lovable, positive way. Just by not saying anything, or doing anything. Because others can feel this, but others cannot understand what it is. When you walk in a room and you have that feeling or emotion, it's like, oh, stop the music, Greg's here. No. If Greg chooses to, he can release that energy, but you, Greg, wanted to go undetected so he can study what's going on. Right? That heart space could be, in the heart rhythm, that heart rhythm could be the happiest or the saddest that you can make it. Because if you're also feeling angry and sad, the whole room can feel it. And everybody's like, whoa, what's wrong with you, man? Right? How many times have we done that? Like 2 Saturdays ago, remember I was like, just beat. And I was like, man, I was like, thank you for bringing me up. Thank you for taking me out of that shitty freaking place. See? That's my heart rhythm. But you all feel it. Okay? Do we have any questions, any comments, any concerns?